Hi, I'm Carlo Velayo.
I'm Anna Marie Josue.
Hi, I'm Joe Arciaga.
I'm Arlyn Dela Peña.
I'm Michele Josue, the director of Nurse Unseen, and you're watching Rise and Shine with FilAm Creative.
Good morning. And here we are for a special live episode of Rise and Shine. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We want to send our love to Jeremiah, who's partying that jerk. He's not here today. We want to send our love to Kami, who is tending to a personal matter. So we send our love to Kami and Jeremiah. But you're here today with Roni and Rex and me. And the reason we're here today is because we're helping to bring awareness to a documentary that is going to happen. And I say that in the present and future tense. It's not about hope. It's about that it is going to happen. It's called Nurse Unseen. And in about 15 minutes, when this boring pre-show is over, we're going to bring out the producers and the director of this project. We're really excited to have them here. But we know that this is Filipino time. So if you're watching us right now, please pick up your phone, your device, and text all your friends and family to join us right here in FilAm Creative's Facebook Live, because this is an important documentary that has a Kickstarter campaign going right now, and they could really use your help. That's why we're doing this live episode, and that's why we need you to pick up your phone, your device, and tell everybody to come on. And if they can't come on, they can at least donate to the Kickstarter campaign. So they're going to come out in about 12 minutes. It's kind of like a PBS telethon right now, where we get to talk for a while. And I know that actually, if you go on the Kickstarter thing, there's like cool prizes if you hit certain benchmarks. So give like $100 at least. Be really cool to these guys.
There you go.
Be generous, y'all.
Exactly. But, since we're sitting here for a little while talking before they come out, we really need to stop and talk about our executive director, because Roni has some, and I don't even want to say it because I want her to be the one to say it. Roni, don't you have some good news to share for us?
Yeah, May is a really special time for me, just because there's a lot of really important birthdays this month. Shout out to my baby brother, my baby sister, my cousin, my uncle, and my dad. But it just, being part of, and it's also mental health month. So thinking about just kind of balancing, your career with your life, and, of course, this pandemic that we're all still hopefully at the tail end of. I started to think of just like life and things happening, and how much, career and FilAm Creative lovingly takes up a huge chunk of my life. But, there's still, I haven't seen my family since December of 2019, and I finally got to see them. And something also magical happened while I was away. My partner actually proposed to me, and I'm getting married. So I have some friends in the, like, surprise, Arlyn. Like I said, it's just been kind of like nonstop with career and work, but I'm really thankful that, he's been thinking about this, and we got to take time to breathe and just think about our life and what happens next, because that's what it's all for, right? Like, that's the stories that we tell, like life and love and family, and just like how many times, we're just out there to find true love. And I don't want to get emotional, but like, I found it.
Congratulations.
Nice Princess Bride reference there. Your true love.
True.
Now, does that mean that we're going to have to get him on the show too? Is the cast going to expand now?
No, he's kind of like a background, if we had tons of money, we'd all have assistants here at our helping us with the show. So I think he kind of does that pro bono for me right now. Like, he's gonna be, you'll probably see his hand like hand me water off camera, or like you'll see me going like this every once in a while. Just it's like I need him to like get something, but he's the best and most supportive partner, and we're both in entertainment. He works tech in the he works tech by day, but by night he's a pro wrestler. So
yeah,
that's right.
Yes, Filipino American pro wrestler at Manny Mars. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. He's like smiling at me over there. Prince Manny Mars. Oh my gosh, I don't know my fiance's own Instagram handle, guys.
Oh, you missed the royalty title there.
Already got corrected there.
Yes.
I'll get that right before the wedding. Yeah, at Prince Manny Mars. Follow him. He has really great content. I'm not in that content, but it's because we want to. I'm not in the wrestling world, so it's like weird for me to just keep inserting me myself there. But yeah, it's like we've known each other for a while. The three of us, like we work together for FilAm Creative, and I know that Ed is a huge pro wrestling fan. And
Yes, he is.
I will let you guys know, because you are part of the live studio audience on Facebook, that every time we have a meeting, like, and then Ed sees my fiance in the background, he has to like stop and talk about wrestling. And me and Rex are just like, what is that now? What does that mean? What does it mean to go over? What does it mean? What is kayfabe? So
we're putting Manny Mars over right now.
we are, and he
Yes.
deserves it.
And you have a standing invitation that if you need a ring announcer for your wedding, I am more than happy to be the ring announcer for your wedding. I mean, I don't know how you would incorporate a ring announcer into a wedding, but
Oh, you could do anything, man, in a wedding reception. I mean, if I organized the wedding reception with the groom. Yes, the groom actually organized the wedding reception. If we can incorporate Star Wars into a wedding reception, you can incorporate almost anything
oh, there you go.
into
There you go.
the thing. So if you can want to be the ring announcer, Ed, make it. You know, we can even have the ring right on the dance floor if you wanted to.
Oh my God. I did say, I wanted to hit somebody with a steel chair in my wedding dress at some point.
Oh, see, then you understand. There you go.
In the wedding. Like, I think I'm gonna have to write, I'm gonna be Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm gonna write that storyline in for myself.
Oh my gosh.
Because fun fact, Freddie Prinze Jr. writes wrestling storylines sometimes. That's like
he
his job
did.
now.
He no longer
Like-
does, but he did in the past. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna channel that
Oh,
for
that's
it.
You
So
can
hilarious.
channel your Freddie Prinze.
I'm gonna channel my
Prinze
Freddie
Jr.
Prinze Jr. She's all that. High
Oh my
school
gosh.
president, freshman. Yeah, I mean, it all comes full circle, right? So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to kind of like share, stuff that's happening, just because life is happening again, guys. Like, what a beautiful time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of life is happening, we have to do a cheap plug, because if you're watching this live and if you're in the Los Angeles area, don't forget that today at 3:00, you can actually go hiking with the three people you're looking at right now on the screen, with the three of us, because we will be. Roni, do you know where that is? I'm totally throwing this to you because I don't have my notes on the address. Yes, I'm totally throwing you under the bus if you don't have the
Oh.
information.
You need help? I got the
You
notes
are-
too,
Oh,
Ronnie.
wait a minute, Rex. I'm going to throw you
I
under
got-
the bus
I
instead.
got the-
You are
no, I
throwing
got the
me under
notes.
bus, and I'm frantically looking.
No, I got it.
Rex,
I
where
got
we
it.
going? Where are we
No,
going?
I got it.
Yeah, where are we
Today-
going, Rex?
Yeah, today. So to end off Mental Health Awareness Month, we are going to have a hike, and during the hike, we're going to have a comedy show at the same time. So today, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the LA area, traffic is glorious today because everybody has left town. We are going to be meeting over at Willacre Park, and that's over in Studio City. Meet over at the Betty B. Daring Trail. Well, we're all going to be congregating around 2:30, 2:45. The hike's going to start at 3:00.
3 p.m. sharp. Don't
3
get
p.m.
left.
sharp, and then we're going to be hiking up an elevation to the Mark Taper Foundation Amphitheater, which is about a good mile away. So we're going to.
I think
enjoy
Nina
some
said it was about a
nature.
40-minute hike.
Like a
40
40-minute hike.
So bring your walking shoes, bring a bottle of water. The weather actually is kind of cool. So
Bring your sunscreen.
bring your sunscreen. The sun hopefully will come out later on this afternoon. So come meet over at Willacre Park, 3431 Fryman Avenue in Studio City, and meet over at the Betty B. Daring Trail. We're all going to be congregating. So look for Filipinos congregating. Very
Also,
cool.
an option for those who don't want to brave the treacherous hike. Not I. Well, I will be at the top, guys. I will be at the top. In like hanging out for those of us who choose not to get our cardio in today, and that's totally fine. Do your mental health month. But if you want to skip the trail, you don't want to see, the glorious guns and calves of Ed and Rex. You can meet us up at the Mark Taper Foundation Amphitheater. There's like a parking right there.
Yes.
And then you can just come hang out with me and my fiance.
Yes,
He'll
free.
be too.
Whoa, Prince Manny Mars will be
Prince
there.
Prince Manny Mars will be there. Yeah, there. Free parking if you want to meet up for the hike, or free parking if you want to meet up at the amphitheater, 12601 Mulholland Drive. Again in Studio City. So just right where the 101 and Laurel Canyon, in that area. Come over. We'd love to see you guys. This is our first in-person event for FilAm Creative, and we'd love to see you all. And one last thing, we're almost there. Please bring a mask. Masking is highly encouraged for this hike. We're almost there, as LA County is going to lift their restrictions in a couple weeks. So close, guys. But we want to have everyone be safe, but also have everyone just kind of congregate and fellowship, enjoy nature, breathe some really great. The weather's been pretty cool lately. Thank God it hasn't been hot. So we'd love to see everyone come on out again. Will Acre Park, Betty B. Deering Trail. Look it up, Google it. 3 o'clock, the hike starts, and then around 4 o'clock, we're gonna have a comedy show, stand-up comedy. So release some of those endorphins. And we're gonna have. We got some really great working stand-up comedians here in the LA area. Our lovely producer Nina G put that comedy. Shout out to Nina. She put together a great lineup. I think there might even be an appearance from Nina actually doing a set.
Yes,
she could be doing a set.
She's gonna do a set, y'all.
She's gonna make us laugh.
She's gonna make us laugh. So she puts an incredible lineup. She's totally hooked up into the comedy world and everything. So we'd love to see you guys come on out today, 3 o'clock, ending around 5 o'clock. So you'll be done right before sunset, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Exactly. So guys, we've got about 3 minutes left before we bring out our guests. So again, just real quick, remember that the reason we're here today doing this live episode of Rise and Shine is because we're bringing awareness to the fantastic documentary that's about to go into production called Nurse Unseen. And in a couple of minutes, we're bringing out the director and the producers of this fantastic documentary that needs to be seen. So if you are near a device, which I know you all are, let people know that we need to see you on here, and you need to get on Kickstarter, and you need to give to this very, very important film that is going to get made. We can't wait. And we know that in the lore of Rise and Shine, we're going to be able to say that we helped contribute. But the big thing is that everyone watching us needs to contribute. So please go to Kickstarter and consider donating at least $100. But if you can't do $100, they'll at least take 10. But anyway, so please consider that. And, don't forget also, if you like all the programming that FilAm Creative is producing, we're on Venmo at FilAm Creative. So lots of ways to donate. Had to get our cheap plug in. But please, today our main event is Nurse Unseen. So it looks like we've got about a minute to go. So here's your last chance. Grab that phone. Here's mine. I think you need to call your mom.
I have mine right here.
Dad, someone, and tell them to come watch us. And, before they come out, consider this, especially since we're a show geared towards Filipino and Asian Americans. How many of us know a nurse or have a nurse in our family? And I think that everyone right now in cyberspace, there's an old school term, is raising their hand. Exactly.
The reason why I was born. I'll tell that story later.
You were all birthed by a nurse, or you were related to a nurse. So we definitely want to see this documentary. And we were talking with the director before we started to roll, and they're going to go right away into production once we hit that Kickstarter goal. So let's help them out, and let's really make this a reality. So again, we're happy to have you here. Good morning to everybody. And it looks like it's 10:15. So, oh my gosh, hold on a second. I got to go for a second. Rex knows what I'm going to do. Hold on a second.
I think so.
I'm also going to put the Kickstarter link in the comments, everybody, to make sure. Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for putting that up. I'm also going to put the Kickstarter link in the comments. So while you're watching, you can be giving.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And it's time for a live episode of Rise and Shine. So now let's meet our hosts for today. You can already see two of them. It's Roni and Rex. And here comes Ed. Oh, good morning, everybody. All right, we're live now, and it's the actual time. We know that you all were asleep for the first 15 minutes, but it's Filipino time. Welcome to Rise and Shine Live. We have, oh my gosh, how many guests do we have today?
We have
5 guests.
4 or
This is
5,
the-
yes.
This is the first time that we've had 5 guests. We've had 3 before. We've had 3 a couple of times, but we've never had 5.
In some zip codes, this could be considered a party. I don't know.
Exactly.
Or a zip code. I don't know.
But we're in Zoom, so we're keeping it safe. That's why we're not wearing the mask. If you're wondering why this is such a big group from so many households, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring out these five guests for today. So, and you know what? I'm just going to admit it right now, full disclosure, because we have 5 guests, that's a lot of notes to look at. I wrote my notes. If you see me looking down like this, don't.
Yes, well, yeah, because Ted,
Yeah.
I mean, Ed, we don't have, we don't have great production values. We don't have the cue cards, those big ass cue cards.
I think we need to ask.
We don't have the
Arlyn.
budget for those thick markers.
No, we don't. We
need
don't.
to ask Arlene when she comes out if Rod had cue cards for the talent. Because if Voices had it, I'm going to be upset about it. But anyway, all right, we'll talk about that.
Ooh, we're going to talk about Voices.
All
There's
right.
a Voices reunion, mini reunion throwback.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring out our guest. So
Yes.
our first guest is the director of Nurse Unseen. Oh, by the way, since we just officially started the show, reminder, that's why we're here.
Yep.
We're doing this live episode for Nurse Unseen, the documentary that's having a Kickstarter campaign. Please go to Kickstarter. Please donate money to this fantastic documentary that needs to get made. So our first guest is the director. And not only is she the director, she's an Emmy Award winner of the great film Shepard Is a Friend of Mine. And you can also see her great project, Happy Jail, on Netflix. So let's welcome Michele Josue. Good morning.
Emmy Award winner, director
Emmy
Michele
Award
Josue.
winner. I love it.
Yeah, thank
And next to her,
And
next-
Anna
Yay!
we have
You gotta
Anna
have a
Marie
great team
Josue.
behind you.
So Anna is the archival producer and the co-producer. And she's also an associate producer of Shepard Is a Friend of Mine and Happy Jail. So welcome also
Thank
to
you.
Anna Marie. All right. And then let's bring out our next guest, who I just found out grew up in Australia. And he's the producer of this project. And he also is an awardee of the Berlinale VFF Talent Highlight Award. And he's also the producer of 2 features that are making the festival rounds. And he worked with Michele on Happy Jail. So let's bring out Carlo Velayo. Carlo, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good
Hi,
to
Ed.
see
Hi,
you.
Rex. Hi, Roni.
Woohoo!
Fantastic. All right. And we have, wait a minute, we've got 2 more guests to bring out.
Oh my gosh. Again, it's a party.
It's this party. This is party time. This is Nurse Unseen party time. All right. So our next guest is one of the producers as well. And you're going to love this. He's a nurse.
Yes.
It's a good thing because as an educator, what upsets me is when people not involved in education have an opinion on education. Shut up. Don't want to hear you. But you know what?
That's the tea.
This guy is a nurse, which means that we've got some credibility on this
Yeah.
project. So
Right.
this guy is a nurse, and he's also a writer and a filmmaker and a U.S. Army veteran.
That's
So
right.
a lot of great stuff. He does a lot of great stuff for the Los Angeles Filipino American community.
Yes.
He is a producer of several short films around the area. We're so happy to have him. He's a good friend of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, bring him out, Joe Arciaga. There he is.
Woo! Joe. Oh, he's repping. Oh,
This is a man who supports FilAm Creative. There you go.
Thank you, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
repping, man.
Thank you. All right. And we have one final guest to bring out. She is a co-producer of the film. She is a nurse. Again, you see what I'm getting at here? Credibility to this project. So if you're watching this and saying to yourselves, do these guys know what's going on? Yes, they do, because they have nurses on this project and they have Emmy Award winners on this project. So there's a lot of greatness on this project. So our final guest is a nurse, a U.S. Army veteran, an actress, a producer, and here's a history lesson for you. She's also a former member of the FilAm Creative Executive Board, and she was the co-host of the podcast Voices, which is a great program that predated us and kind of a trailblazer for FilAm Creative. We're so happy to have her here. Rex and I love to talk with her about Chris Rock. She's one of our favorite people. Let's bring her out. Arlyn Dela Peña. Good morning.
Arlyn.
There she is. Look at that.
Hey, Rapid.
Loving the shirt.
Love it.
Loving the
Who
shirt.
wore it best, me or Joe? I don't know.
I'm a little biased, but I just want to insert really quick, guys. Like, Arlyn is like the first person, one of the first people I talked to for FilAm Creative, and is lightweight one of the reasons why I'm here today. She was there for my very first potluck networking meeting, and you just like welcomed me with open arms, and you've been like my mentor ever since.
And
Love
you
you,
know,
girl. Love you.
and speaking of that, you do realize, just another piece of trivia, the reason that we're doing this episode today is because Rex and I got a Facebook message, and it was funny because Rex and I were really tired. May is a very busy month for us, and someone, I think it was Arlyn, sent us a thing saying, could we do an episode? And we were like, oh God, we got so much stuff. We can't say no to Arlyn. So here we are. So of course we can do this for Arlyn because she's given so much to FilAm Creative. So just a reminder again, hit that Kickstarter button, donate some quid. But you know, some of you are wondering, tell us a little bit more about this important project. So I want to turn this over to Michele, the director. Michele, can you share with us what we can expect when we will eventually watch Nurse Unseen, this documentary?
Sure. First of all, you guys are so fun. Thanks for having all of us on here. What a great way to start the morning. So basically, Nurse Unseen is really about showcasing and highlighting and honoring all our titos and titas, all our healthcare workers in our family, like Joe and Arlyn, who contributed so much to the healthcare system here in the US and around the world. We wanted to make this film to really bring light to the fact that the pandemic was really disproportionately affecting our community so much. And the statistics were staggering, and we wanted to do something about it. We wanted to share the world and show them what was happening. But to answer that question, why this was happening, we soon realized that we had to really lay out like the history of why so many Filipinos became nurses and why they came to the US and how that happened. And it's a really, really fascinating story, and one we're really excited to tell. And it involves so much of us. I mean, nursing is an indelible part of all of our personal histories. So this is a truly important passion project, not only for me and all of us here, but I imagine so many FilAms who are watching and will watch this show later.
Absolutely. And maybe we could go around the Zoom, and we could start with Anna. We'll go from Anna to Carlo to Joe to Arlyn. And if you could all also share how you got involved with the project. So again, we'll start with Anna.
Well, our aunt passed away after spending 30 years as a nurse for a children's hospital in DC. And so Michele was trying to figure out a way how we can honor her. And then we just found that there was so many other nurses, Filipino nurses, that they spend their whole lives sacrificing, like being away from their family. And we wanted to know why that was. And then Michele was like, wait, can we do our next project on Filipino nurses? And I was like, yes, we definitely need to do that. And so that's how I became involved. A lot of my college years was spent like researching a lot of how stereotypes are in the media and how that affects people's outlook on seeing different people of different groups. I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. Can I also please be archival producer? So that's how I became involved.
Yeah, and we work on everything together. So it's like a family affair.
All right, a 2-for-1 deal then.
Yeah.
Awesome. Carlo, how about you?
So I had the pleasure of working with Michele and Anna on Happy Jail, which is the doc series on Netflix about the dancing inmates in Cebu, Philippines. And as Anna mentioned, after Happy Jail concluded, Michele was thinking of her next project. And when she said that she wanted to honor the life and contribution of her aunt, who was a nurse at Children's Hospital, I was like, sure, let's look at the contributions of nurses. I think during 2020, it was just very difficult for us to sort of see where this project could be produced because everyone was sheltering in place. And so for us to interview nurses on the front lines, that would have been so very dangerous, not only for the nurses who are working, but also for the crew involved in the documentary. So we really just followed the news and tried to keep abreast of what was happening. I think for me, it was earlier in this year in 2021 when there was news of the Philippine government looking to barter or trade Filipino nurses for vaccines to the UK and Germany, when I realized that this is actually a global issue. It's not just about Filipino nurses here in the US. This is actually an issue that affects people in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, where I grew up. And so that's why I really wanted to be involved in this project. And around the same time, Michele actually connected with Arlyn and Joe, and that's how our teams came together and joined forces. So I'll let Joe and Arlyn continue the story.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, earlier, actually, late 2020, I had approached one of my collaborators, Mark Nazal, on a possible project about our Filipino nurses who are disproportionately dying from COVID. Because, if you remember last year, we started seeing all of these news articles about Filipino American nurses disproportionately dying. And, they get buried after 2 or 3 days in the news cycle. It's done. The stories are gone. And I was concerned that nobody was really gonna tell these stories more in depth. It became just a soundbite, So I started talking to him later, but I started talking to him about that. And when we finally tried to put a team together, I pulled in Arlyn and asked her, hey, would you like to come on this project? Because this is an important story. These are important stories to tell. And just the title itself, we have a funny story later, but it wasn't always Nurse Unseen. But it was just going to be the sacrifice of all these nurses, and that's what really what my focus was. Man, all these nurses dying, Filipino American nurses dying, and so I'll let Arlyn pick up the ball here. Go ahead, Arlyn.
It's so good to see everybody. I miss you guys immensely, and the hypeness. Oh, that. Thank you for having us. So Joe had approached me, I believe it was in maybe a Tuesday or something. And of course, I said, yes, I would love to help in any capacity. I mean, you guys know, I'd never say no. I'm just always yeah, I don't care what time, let's just do it. Right. And so Charles Gray, also FilAm creative, right? He had messaged me to let me know that he was going to be in this app called Clubhouse. And I was like, what's Clubhouse? And he's like, I'll send you an invite. But basically it's this big conference call. And I was like, okay, cool. And so he was a guest, and so was Michele, along with Patricio Ganelsa from Lumpia, and Mary Grant and Jason Lustina are the hosts. And so, of course, it's all my friends. It's a reunion. So I was like, okay, cool. And Joe had already asked me, to be a part of Sacrificio was the title that Joe, Mark, and I had been discussing already. And so I was like, okay, well, there's going to be a documentarian. Michele Josue is going to be there. So I'm just going to ask her what her process is. And so when it was finally time to ask a question, I asked her, and she had asked me back to kind of give us a little bit more details of what the project is, so that way she can fine tune her answer. And so I simply said, it's about Filipino nurses who have been impacted during the pandemic. And she was like, okay. And so she answered it, and you know, it was a great clubhouse room, and I went to bed and I was just so inspired. And to my surprise, in the morning, I opened up a message from Michele asking if we could collaborate. And I was like, yes. And I was like, wait, I gotta ask Joe. You know, like, let me talk to Joe and Mark first. And so I totally saw the potential right off the bat, because even though originally we were both, separate entities kind of tackling this bigger story at different perspectives, I could totally see the bridge, because you can't talk about Filipino nurses during the pandemic without talking about the history. You can't talk about Filipinos during the pandemic unless you're talking about your personal stories. And there's so many layers to it. And so as a group, you know, we kind of decide, all right, let's hit the ground running. And, you know, I'm never like slow or patient. I'm like, let's go. So that's basically how we got started.
That's why we love you, Arlyn. You're never slow paced.
No.
You know, we're I just got a couple of messages on the Rise and Shine Facebook page. So if you're watching on Rise and Shine, I just made a message of that we're actually on the FilAm Creative Facebook page. So we're here today with the producers and director of Nurse Unseen. So again, if you're watching us right now in Facebook, please text a friend, ask them to join us and learn more about this project. And of course, go to Kickstarter. I think Roni has posted the link in the Facebook page. Please consider donating at least $10,000 to this project.
I think that's the minimum. Yeah, that's the minimum.
But because they're friends with FilAm Creative, we're making a deal that you don't have to hit the 10,000 minimum. You can just give $20. That's fine too. Yeah. We're going to let that go. So awesome. So, you know, since this is about nurses, you know, maybe we should ask the nurses. This is something that when we were plotting season 1 for Rise and Shine, one of the episodes we had talked about doing was we wanted to talk to nurses about how life was during the pandemic while on duty. So maybe Joe and Arlyn, could you talk about how that was? Because I know, Arlyn, you're in Hawaii, and Joe, you work in Los Angeles. So obviously let's compare differences. Joe, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not a hospital-based nurse anymore. You know, prior to the pandemic, I was a case manager. And basically that still involved me meeting with doctors and patients, although I'm not providing direct bedside care anymore. But when the pandemic hit, I was still required to meet with the doctors, meet with the patients at the offices, donning full PPE. Really, I mean, we had no idea back then how this thing was transmitted. So everybody was just walking around like, oh man, you know, like, how am I gonna get it? So it was pretty stressful. I have a lot of nurse friends who were in the thick of it, in the ERs, in the ICUs, in the skilled nursing facilities, and we were all just, man, we got to get through this. We gotta do what we can. And at that time, I considered moving back and going into the ICU or the ER, but because I hadn't worked, for in the bedside that long, they wouldn't take me. But anyway, I mean, they would have. But eventually, when the vaccine came out, I decided I got to help with this vaccination drive, and so I did. I left case management, and I'm doing vaccinations. I'm giving that shot to, so far I'm at estimating about 2,500. I've given about 2,500 vaccines. So that's a lot of shots.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm just estimating. That's a conservative estimate. But my hats off to my colleagues in the ERs and in the ICUs and the skilled nursing facilities, because those guys, day in, day out, they're plugging away, wearing that mask for 12 hours. I mean, once you take it off, and I did that, it leaves marks. And you know, I don't have any feeling in my ears right now because wearing that mask for so long. I'm gonna throw it to you, Arlyn. Go ahead.
So I'm out here in Oahu in Hawaii. I was working at the Army Medical Center here, Tripler Army Medical Center. And I was actually working outpatient because I have a young child who's in early elementary. And so I wanted to have a fixed schedule where I had my nights and weekends available. But prior to that, I was an Army Nurse Corps officer and I was active duty for just shy of 10 years. And the majority of my career was in critical care. So I was an ICU nurse. And so during the pandemic, you know, it's super interesting because the government, DoD employees, the military hospitals, we are so used to moving around and being deployed and kind of getting ready for whatever's the biggest next, you know, virus out there or illnesses or traumas. And I feel like, you know, they're so well organized when it comes to that they they already had a plan, you know, in place for things like this. And so one of the things that had happened when I was working this outpatient clinic was that the whole hospital started looking at their resources of what nurses have what experience and where can we send them to. And so they actually ended up pulling me from the outpatient clinic back to the ICU. And I think I was the only person from a clinic setting. And so for all the nurses who are listening to that, they're probably like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Because the skill set of a critical care nurse, I mean, even when I would go on vacation for a month, you start to forget things and things change over the years. And so even though it had been a few years since I had been back in an ICU setting, and, you know, I'm familiar with all the charting and everything in an Army hospital, I was just like, okay, here we go. They're picking the third string bench warmer from the clinic to go back to the ICU.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, you know, I can do this, right? Like, it's just like a walk in the park and, you know, kind of. And so, but again, you know, I never say no. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Like, let's just do it. And so, you know, we went through all the training and everything. And luckily we were not hit hard here in Hawaii with COVID cases. So that was such a blessing because we have island problems, right? Like it takes like, you know, we don't get next day Amazon. We get like 1 week or two, you know, Amazon.
That's not Amazon Prime. That's like Amazon delayed.
No, you have no idea how painful. But yeah, it was just such an interesting experience because we were so protected. It was a little bit slow as far as, I guess, like the urgency, right? Like it was urgent, don't get me wrong, but we also don't fight in masks, you know, like we will wear masks. Like there's so many Asian people here that like they already wore masks going, you know, back and forth, like overseas. So it was not that big of a deal. We had protesters, but it wasn't bad. And as far as the hospital, you know, things started ramping up, our numbers started going up, and then Hawaii kind of, they didn't really like shut down the borders, but you know, it was very limited. And so we were kind of just bunkering down at home and very limited interaction. And we have a large older population, we call them kapuna. And so there was a lot of fear of what was going to happen to our kapuna out here and very protective. So I feel like we did a good job taking care of the community. But I actually ended up leaving Tripler last summer.
Oh, wow.
And so I left in July because our son was starting first grade. And, you know, and he goes to like an excellent private school. He goes to Punahou, which is like the same same school as President Obama went to.
That's Punahou.
Yeah. Yeah, they have like lots of resources, right? But there were strict rules of who could go back in person, and so the dates kept changing. And my husband, who's a urologist in the military, you know, he's the boss of like his clinic, and so he was able in the spring of 2020, he was able to be at home with our son and do online schooling. But I had to go into work, you know, and was training in the ICU, still working in the clinic and all that. And I was just like, man, I don't know how we're gonna do this. Like we can't let our school's education suffer. I mean, it's first grade, but still, like it's like somebody's got to help him out.
That's an important grade, first grade, man. That's after kinder,
Right,
Read,
early.
you can't get to the next level. So
That's a master school after kinder, that's master's degree, that's
That's update, right? Yeah. So I ended up leaving, and then in August we got pregnant with twins.
that's right.
So we're one of the statistics of COVID babies.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That's right. There was that article out there. Actually, there's one out right now about a woman having the antibodies as she was having her baby. So I think it was Newsweek. So go look it up in Google. The article just came out a couple of days ago. And there is truth about the antibodies with the baby, all that stuff. Yeah. I'm not a medical guy, but So ladies and gentlemen, you heard a perspectives from both Joe and Arlene. Please go ahead to Kickstarter right now. I believe the goal is 50K. Right now, I believe they are over halfway. I believe they're at like 33 or 34 right now. So please, please, please donate. We want them to help reach their goal before the deadline. Their deadline's coming up in about a week's time. I'm sure that if we can get everyone's support to just donate just a little bit to the production of this documentary, it's just going to change the world. It's going to tell our story from the Filipino and Filipino-American perspective. And so please go ahead to the Kickstarter. Again, look up Nurse Unseen when you get onto Kickstarter.com. You'll see all of the details. You'll see all of the cast and crew. Please donate. We're trying to get there in 7 days. I believe the Kickstarter campaign was a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Please clarify this, guys, for me.
30 days.
30 days. So 30 days to make 50K.
I just thought of something, Rex and Ronnie.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So the next person who donates $50 to this Kickstarter campaign and puts in the comments that we watched Rise and Shine on FilAm Creative, we will send you the shirt that Arlene and Joe are wearing. Not the actual shirt, but a shirt just like theirs. So the next person who donates $50, got to be 50 at least, and puts that you watched Rise and Shine, we will give a FilAm Creative shirt. That's our little gift. That's the least.
There you go.
The least we can do. And also, if you want to find the link, is in the Facebook comments for those of you watching in Facebook. I pinned it to the top. Super easy. And if you're on our IG, we've just been posting you guys all morning. Thanks, Raquel. Thanks, digital team.
Rex,
yeah.
Somebody in the waiting room.
Thanks, Shauna.
I believe there could be somebody in the waiting room here. Longtime activist in the community, longtime supporter and producer of the community and everything. And he's actually part of the crew here for the documentary Nurse Unseen. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, my longtime good friend, Ted Benito, ladies and gentlemen. Ted Benito.
Ted Benito.
Morning, Ted.
Morning, Ted. I know it's Rise and Shine, dude. Saturday morning. I know. I know.
There he is. Look at him.
Yes.
You muted me and everything.
Sorry, bro.
It's too early. But Rex, Ed, and Ronnie, I need to send you guys a Xanax because you guys are nuts. In a good way. In a good way.
You can prescribe that, or we can have any of the nurses in the.
I have a
Zoom right now
supply.
prescribe it.
I have a supply. Don't worry.
Sample.
I'm surprising my fellow producers here and the director, Michelle. Hi, guys. Because I called Rex at 6 o'clock in the morning and said,
yes, he did.
Doing something tomorrow. Can I be a part of that just really quickly? So how's it going?
Yeah, so I think we saw the announcement on in all the social medias. I don't know, any one of you want to make the official announcement about Ted?
Well, it's Joe's fault, so he should make the announcement.
Okay, I think Joe, you should make the official.
Joe's the reason why I'm here.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so actually I started pitching this to Ted. Was it December, Ted?
It's a blur. Working with you is a blur.
It's a blur.
Hopefully in a good way.
Yeah, it's like 2-3 days, no answer from Ted. Anyway, we appreciate you, Ted, and Ted is coming on board as our consulting producer, and we are excited to welcome him to the team. And man, thanks, Ted. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
Thank you for looking. I mean, what Michelle and Carlo and Arlene and Joe was saying, this is a really, really important. The first time that I know of a documentary covering the subject. So in that sense, this is a landmark documentary for
Yep.
our community all over the world. So I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Well, welcome aboard, Ted. We all saw the announcement over all the social medias and everything. And, the history, I've got history with Ted. Ted and I go way back to our college days. UCLA. Actually, when Ted produced the PCN, I was the music coordinator for that with the choral group. And so Ted was like, "Hey, Rex, you want to help us out here? You want to, contribute something?" And so that was my first forays with Ted. Ever since, years later, we've been producing a bunch of stuff around the community. We've been producing a bunch of shows, concerts, fundraisers, you name it. We've been producing events all over Southern California, over at the Ford Amphitheater, and all over Southern California and beyond, Bay Area and all that kind of stuff. I think, Ted, we should write a book about that one day. But today we are all here. Sorry about that, Ted. But we are all here for this landmark documentary, Nurse Unseen. And I know, Ted, that you probably what else has been going on with you ever since?
A lot. Which is, it's all good because it's now time to open up the performances.
Yes.
To the public, and I'm so sick of virtual stuff. No offense to you guys, but I want to see an artist in person. I want to hear the music live. So the Ford Amphitheater this year is celebrating their centennial anniversary, and they I've been honored by them by having them choosing me to be one of the, I guess, 20 or so producers for this very abbreviated season at the Ford. So I have a show going up at the Ford on Sunday, August 29th. It's called Pinoytainment. It's basically a bunch of up and coming artists, as well as some established artists like Apple the App and Ruby Ibarra. It's being hosted by AJ Raphael, Eric Esteban, VJ Rosales. I mean, just a bunch of like nice stuff, nice people. And I get to put them on stage. I get to make them a centerpiece on stage. So my challenge is to anybody who donates to Nurse Unseen or who pledges 10 or 20 bucks, I will send you a code for $5 off the ticket admission to the Ford Theater show on August 29th. And so the people that have already donated or already pledged to Nurse Unseen, they will automatically get that code as well. So you're getting Apple and Ruby, and you're pledging to a phenomenal documentary that's being done at the same time. So my worlds are colliding thanks to you guys.
All right, so you heard that, ladies and gentlemen, Facebook Live. So anyone who donates to the Kickstarter campaign of Nurse Unseen will get a
what was the minimum? What was the minimum?
10 or 20 bucks. Let's
right.
Let's do this. Let's make this challenge worth it, Ed.
Yeah, for sure. And you, in the process, not only will you be contributing to this documentary and getting it done, you'll be also getting a discount to come see a great, man, this is a freaking great lineup, August 29th at the Ford. I mean, I saw the lineup. It's a freaking great variety show. And it's like, it's going to be one of the first time and only, first times that, we're going to be opening up as a community, opening up here in LA County. And, what better way to spend it with your compadres over at the Ford Amphitheater, outdoor amphitheater, by the way. Yeah. Seats very intimate, 1,200 people. If you haven't been there, it's the theater right across from the Hollywood Bowl, right up there on the 101 off of Cahuenga. So come see it. Come to the Ford. We'd love to see everyone, especially for all the Kickstarter donators out there. Please donate to this. You'll get your ticket code for your discount, and you'll get to get a great night of entertainment over at the Ford Amphitheater. Thank you,
I'm putting
Ted.
on record now. Special shout out to our friend Kevin Acebo, who's donating.
Yes,
he's pledging $100. That should come by today. So I'm working, guys. I'm working my pledges. It's coming.
All this stuff here you're getting.
Thanks, Kevin.
Discount. You're getting a FilAm Creative T-shirt. All this cool stuff you're getting. All you got to do is go on Kickstarter right now and donate for Nurse Unseen. This is great. And Ted, I want to thank you for helping Nurse Unseen break more records, because not only are they the first guest to have 5 guests.
Yes.
On Rise and Shine. Now you've made history. You're the first folks to have 6 guests on Rise and Shine within the same
It's a party, guys.
This is called a party, or in other words, a zip code in some other places.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that damn hike. Good luck to you guys.
No, hey, thank you, Ted, man. I mean, you've always been there for the community and everything. And, what better way? Again, your worlds are colliding, Ted. And so everyone, I put a pledge out there, even just for the nurses. The nurses out there, tell your friends who went to nursing school with you. Please donate. Even that alone will make her goal. So please donate to the Kickstarter campaign, Nurse Unseen documentary. If you want to find out more information, go to the Kickstarter page. But hey, please donate whatever you can, just so that you could see your stories up on the big screen, and that we can share this all with the community and with the whole world in general. Thank you, Ted, again for doing this. I'm looking forward to the 29th and to future events that we'll be able to tackle this year. So thanks you,
for having
man.
me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ted Benito, consulting producer for Nurse Unseen documentary. Thank you, Ted. Everyone, hey, thank you, Joe, for bringing that on, and for bringing him on board. Thank you for that. Don't worry about the 2 or 3 days no contact. I mean, don't worry. I've worked with him. I know the deal.
While we're going to be on here for a little while longer. I know that Ted had to go.
Yeah.
But we are going to be a little while longer. But speaking of producers, we talked about Ted's role as one of the producers. One of the things that fascinated me when I was reading through the credits and everything was archival producer.
Yeah.
So maybe if we could have Anna talk about her role as the archival producer. What does that entail, Anna?
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot. There's so many different aspects of the project. We're looking for what happened was my aunt came over on a 2-year nursing program, like a lot of titas that came over during the 60s and 70s. But we heard that during that time, once your 2-year part was over, you had to go back home to the Philippines and then get rehired. And that was like really just expensive for students to do. So she had a patient father who was like, oh, wait, you can't go back. Like, that's, you've done so much for us already. You should just be able to stay here and get hired on. So apparently there was an amendment that was changed because of her. So I'm in the process of researching that law. And then there's also archival of immigration laws, and I'm finding news clips of like things that are happening now in terms of nurses affected by COVID, and then finding stories of people that we should reach out to. So it's a lot of stuff to research.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds so fascinating, because again, around that time in the 60s, I mean, this kind of goes back to my story of why I was here, literally. So my mom's a nurse. She graduated med school in the Philippines, I believe in the La Union province. Don't ask me what med school. I have no idea what.
Shout out to Unsi in the background.
Yay!
Hi, Mom. Say hi, Mom.
It's live TV.
This is live, everybody.
Oh, we got to get a clearance from them now, Michelle.
Yeah, we have to get a clearance. I know, exactly. We have to get an appearance clearance.
DJ Maxx, so they're
So, I mean, quick story. So that my mom was a nurse and she graduated from med school, and this was in the mid 60s. And so after she graduated, her classmates and her came to Chicago after they graduated med school and worked in the hospitals all around the south side of Chicago, Cook County. And already at that point, she had been married to my dad and to my 2 brothers and my older sister back home in the Philippines. So after she, did her, initial program, as you were alluding to, Anna, she saved enough money to get my dad and my brothers and my sister. Once my dad and my mom reunited, I was the love child. So I was like the Peaches and Herb song, reunited. So yeah, you guys are getting the reference now. But yeah, so I'm the first American born in my family just because my mom's a nurse. And so then a couple of years later, my younger brother. So it's kind of like this documentary is really affecting me, because my mom was kind of like, I think I got all the traits from my mom, the music, the singing, that's another thing, but the creative part, all of that I got from my mom, the work ethic, all of that. So it's kind of like, this really is affecting me. And I made a donation already. So it's kind of like, I want to see this made. it's going to what you're saying, Anna. It's about that fourth wave of Filipinos that came to the United States, professionals now, nurses, engineers, other highly skilled professionals, because the Philippines, out of all the Asian countries, the Philippines is the most westernized out of all of the Southeast Asian countries. So I think that's why my mom was able to get over here to the United States and not do the 2-year program and then go back and then get rehired. I think at that point, the law had already passed in the US to get that waived. And so, that's why nobody can stop me, because I'm American born. So no one can ask me for papers.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So again, this story needs to be told. And to you, Carlo, I mean, I know you've collaborated with Michele in the past project and stuff. I think, was that the impetus for you to get on board on this one? And what perspectives are you bringing into this particular documentary?
Definitely. It was such a real pleasure collaborating with Michele on Happy Jail. I actually have one of, I don't know if you can see that because of the glare on my window, but that's a still of the back of my head with Happy Jail etched into it using clippers. And it's actually the opening title sequence of like episode 3 of our five episode series on Netflix. And it was just a dream working with Michele. We actually shared a room in Cebu. And, I think ever since then, we've just been like fast friends, best friends. And so when Michele said, I really want to make this documentary about my aunt, who was a nurse, I was like, I'm on board. And, unlike you, Rex, and unlike a lot of people on the panel, my mom was a teacher in the Philippines, right? So I don't have immediate family who are nurses. I racked my brain and I was like, actually, no, I have a cousin who is half Filipino, half Australian, who was in the army in Australia. When he finished in the army, he studied to be a nurse. So we have a nurse in the family, and he's now studying to become a paramedic. So that for me, there is that personal connection. But I think speaking more broadly, it does touch on this idea of immigration, because, I find it hard to call myself a Filipino American, because technically I'm not an American citizen. I'm an Australian and Philippine citizen. So I'm Filipino Australian, technically, right? Living and working in the US.
Right.
But as Michele and Anna were saying, and as you've alluded to, Rex, it also looks at the history of Filipino nurses in the US. And a large part of that history is immigration, the waves of immigration starting from, the early 1900s, before and during and after the Second World War, and then into the 60s, 70s, and now. So I think for me, my perspective is, as someone who was born in the Philippines, someone who grew up in Australia, who is now living and working in the US, we all are part of this Filipino diaspora. Wherever we are in the world, we have a link to the Philippines, whether it's through ancestry, whether it was because we were born there, whether it was because our parents were born there. There's definitely this link and this connection to the Philippines. And I think in addition to honoring and celebrating the contributions of Filipino nurses, it is celebrating the rich history, the tapestry of Philippine history that we are all part of. And, some films have started or have celebrated that or alluded to it, but we really want to infuse it in this documentary about making sense of why there are so many Filipino nurses in the US and why that's so important to learn about their history.
Yeah, you're so right about that. I mean, just a quick kind of like historical thing. I mean, I think the 2020 census, I think, is still counting, I believe. But according to the 2000 census, out of all the Asian ethnicities, the Filipinos are second, only the Chinese, I think, and I think around that time, again, according to the 2000 census, we're talking close to 20%. 20%. I mean, Chinese was over about, I think, 25% or something like that. I mean, again, the 2020 census is still being counted here, but still, if those numbers hold up until now, we still make up the second largest Asian ethnicity here in the United States. Not I mean, just in the United States alone, let alone the globe, where like you said, Carlo, I mean, nurses are all, not just nurses, but Filipinos are all over the world, from the Middle East to Europe to Switzerland, to Australia. I even know of a Filipino-Australian recording artist, Nessa Rica, who works here in the US now. And it was strange for me to talk to her because she had that Australian accent, yet she was still talking Tagalog with her parents in that Australian accent. I found it's glorious. And we're just everywhere. And so to your allusion there, yes, we should bring up that history because we just didn't show up all in one time. You know, we came in waves. My mom came in the fourth wave. There were waves before her in various capacities, whether from the war, pre-World War II, all that leading up when the U.S. was colonizing the Philippines back in the early 20th century. So we have to bring up historical references so that people can get the context, and that out of all the ethnicities, again, Filipinos are able to assimilate here in the United States more so than anybody else because we can't speak English. Our education back in the Philippines, English again. So there has to be all of these elements and factors. That's why, Arlyn, you brought it up in your story in the very beginning, how it's layers. It's complex. It's layers. It's not just one thing and that's it. I mean, we have as a community, as an ethnicity, come into many, many factors, whether it be economic, language, even our own within Filipino culture in itself, trying to assimilate with the Western world. I mean, that in itself can be its own documentary. But again, to you, Anna, yes, I'm sure the research is very complex. It's not cut and dry. It's not simple, but that's why we want to find roots with our history. And this is our launching point. This documentary is the launching point to find out about that history there.
And so, I had a question for you, Michelle, but it's touching on what Anna, you mentioned earlier. This, you being the archival, the researcher, archival producer, it's almost like, it kind of reminds me, shameless plug, Rise and Shine did another episode with filmmakers of Larissa Lam and Baldwin Chu about another documentary called Far East Down South. Check it out, it's on YouTube and PBS. But they were talking about just how much sometimes we don't think we're part of history. Sometimes we don't think like our existence is like that important, that someone's writing about us in books or making movies about us. But Anna, you're probably seeing like in your research, like, yes, we are. So Michelle, one of the things we talked to director Larissa Lam about her documentary, I wanted to ask you, do you have any plans as far as like pre-production, in the pre-production phase, like what kind of stories, what kind of, how you want to approach a story, a history as massive as this?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good question because, as you know, it's so layered, it can go in so many directions. And because with this project, there's no shortage of personal stories, and there's just so much there that needs to be unearthed. I think the best strategy that we found is just to go chronologically. I think bookending it with what's happening now with the pandemic and how our community is so specifically affected in all those different ways, and then kind of just marching through the history and laying it out, but really driving it home with these personal stories so that it connects and resonates with people as they watch. So it's not like a very dry historical document, but more like a living, evolving, heart-centered, emotional essay on our community and how it was built. That's what's so fascinating about it, is because this is stuff that I was never taught. Like, I'm in my early 40s and I spent most of my life really not completely in touch with my Filipino identity. And I realized that I carried a lot of shame from that, but it wasn't truly my fault. Like, societally speaking, it wasn't taught to me in school. So like what I find myself doing now, and a lot of my contemporaries are doing now, are just reclaiming that part of our identity and being proud of it and talking about it more. And so that's what we hope to do with this film. And I know we'll do it. And I know like all of our intentions are so pure. Like, it's just about the love that is at the center of our community. It's also about grief and how we've all experienced that so tremendously as a community, but at the core of grief is love. you know? So that's what this is about, just laying that history as lovingly and as personally as we possibly can.
Thank you, Michelle. And Joe mentioned that principal photography has already started. So for all of you donating to the Kickstarter, because you will be donating to the Kickstarter, link is in Facebook and our IG. All of that, like we're doing the principal photography. I can't wait to see like how, like the finished product, how it like morphs and forms. And thank you so much for doing that. And shout out to the nurses in my life. I'm part of that. I came here in the 90s, immigrant myself. Shout out to all my young nurses who are working right now. My friends Anna and Chris and Daryl. Thank you guys. Wow, I think we let me not get emotional for a second.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh, I think, you know, it's like I'm just like, we can go on and have the long Filipino goodbye with our own personal stories. But what else can we ask of the people out there? If you're on Facebook watching us, thank you so much.
And if you have questions,
if you have questions, put it in the comments.
Don't forget to send us a question. I'm seeing that. Okay, I have to be really biased here. One of my favorite cousins, Shauna, is watching. Our number one fan, whose mom is a nurse, whose sister is a nurse, who has tons of aunts who are nurses. So shout out to Shauna, love you. And so if you guys have questions as well, or if you have stories or comments, feel free to post it in Facebook. We're going to be online for about 10 more minutes, but we definitely want to continue to bring awareness to this Kickstarter campaign. Remember that Ted Benito has promised that you will get a discount to that great show coming up in the summer. A $5, I think it was $5 off coupon, right, Rex?
Yeah, $5 online ticket discount code, August 29th.
Exactly. And if you donate $50 and put that you watched us on Rise and Shine, we'll give you a shirt. So a lot of cool stuff.
And those shirts are going to be limited edition, I believe. So, I mean, they're limited quantity.
We're running out.
Yeah, we're running out. Yes. And so thank you, Joe and Arlene. I mean, you guys are the OG, man, FilAm Creative. I mean, you guys got the shirts right at the beginning. And so, yes, please make a donation of $50. You'll get your FilAm Creative t-shirt. And as we reach the goal, I think I just got a great feeling we're going to reach the 50,000. And just so that, we're just trying to spread the word, spread the awareness of this wonderful documentary being made. And thank you, Joe, for letting us know that principal photography. Are you guys still in the middle of principal photography right now?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, that's okay.
So we actually started. Yeah, we started principal photography beginning of April, which was around the time that most of our team were able to get vaccines. So we wanted it to be safe. Joe is also a COVID compliance officer, so he has been able to monitor our shoots just so that we can keep our crew, but also the people we interview safe and healthy, because they're still working on the front lines. Thank you guys so much for the shout outs to the Kickstarter campaign. We actually found out yesterday that we are a official Kickstarter project we love. So Kickstarter has selected Nurse Unseen. Yeah. Shout out to them for saying #project we love. So that gives us a little bit more visibility. People who don't know about the project will see it in their Explore bar. And it really just goes to show that this project, yes, it's about the Filipino community, it's made by the Filipino community, but it has universal links and applicability. Like, people can relate to these stories that we're trying to capture. So it's really great that Kickstarter recognized the potential of our project. I think they also notice how much social media, Michelle, Arlene, Joe, Anna, and I, the whole team have been trying to do over the past month, just trying to really promote it, because that's what it is. We just need to get the project into our community, but also beyond our community, and really get, a lot of communities talking about and pledging and sharing this project.
You must have like ESPN, Carlo, because you answered my next question about. I said yes, I did say ESPN.
I like the reference.
Yeah, no, but you answered my
yes.
Yeah. You answered my next question about the universal themes that this documentary approaches, because not only is the story just talking about from the Filipino American perspective, but it touches upon the universal themes that Michele brought up in her previous answer about love, grief, the pandemic. Because let's be honest, when this pandemic is luckily over, and for you, Joe, I know the deadline's coming up that LA County is going to lift up the mandates for masking so that principal photography can be a little more smoother now. But when the pandemic's over, this is not going to stop. Filipinos are still going to be migrating here to the U.S. for being healthcare professionals, nurses, engineers, and all that stuff. And so I think hopefully this documentary will be the impetus, will be alluding to what Michele said, will be reclaiming so that we can tell the next generation that's coming up behind us. Yes, there are your titas, your family. For you, Arlyn, your Ohana
cousins,
back in Hawaii, so that we could tell, these are the stories that your titos, titas, lolos, lolas, cousins, everybody went through, so that hopefully our next generation will be able to tell their story, whether or not being a documentary form, but it'd be a feature. It could be a mini series. It could be like Happy Jail, 5-part.
There's also a fundraiser I want to point out. Thank you, Joe. Next Saturday in Long Beach.
Yes.
With Romeo Chocolates. So
yes.
More incentives for you if great music and a fantastic shirt is not enough to donate to this film. Come through to, it should, first of all, it should be, but you do you. If you need chocolate as an incentive, here we go. Romeo's Chocolate in Long Beach, Saturday, June 5th, 11 to 2. 20% of the proceeds will benefit the Nurse Unseen Kickstarter campaign. So come through. I'm actually kind of nearby Long Beach, so I might have to do that.
Same here.
And that might contribute to the next documentary about diabetes. But anyway. Another side story.
That's called Happy Sugar. Yes.
Happy Sugar, exactly.
That's okay because you have nurses everywhere in your family.
Exactly. This is a conspiracy to create this documentary.
Everyone's
there you go. The conspiracy has been revealed right here on Rise and Shine. Exactly. Sorry, go ahead, Roni.
I was gonna say I have my baby sister is about to be a nurse next year, and I keep telling her, "You're gonna be the one to give me the COVID shot. She's like, "I'm not ready, Ate." I'm like, "Nope. My life is in your hands. You better line up all the aunties and uncles. You're about to give those COVID shots." But thankfully, she didn't have to do that. So shout out to all of the nurse students out there. You guys are doing a great job.
Very cool. So we're still here, guys, on Facebook. Please continue to let your friends know that we're here talking about the documentary soon to come out, Nurse Unseen. Please support it on Kickstarter. Lots of incentives for you to donate money. We're here with the producers and the Emmy award-winning director talking about it, and we hope that you will donate to it. While we're hanging out here in our final few minutes, did want to give a couple of cheap plugs for what's coming up on Rise and Shine. We've got about 8 more weeks to go until our season finale. We shot 27 episodes this year, and I'm really tired, and so is Roni, and so is Rex. But so you guys will forever be known as number 27. But we do have coming up next week, we have a 2-part episode spotlighting the film The Girl Who Left Home with the cast and crew. And in a couple of weeks, we have Dr. Kevin Nadal, who has a hilarious episode. We hope you'll watch that. And then we have Kat Iniba around the 4th of July, who's going to make some great food for us. We also have a spotlight on San Diego Philippine cinema with our friend Benito Batista. And we've got romance novelist Mia Hopkins, who made an appearance earlier this year about her podcast, The Baker's Notebook.
Yeah.
And we have this show. Don't worry, this show will also be popping up on our YouTube. And by the time you see this on YouTube, we won't be talking about how you need to donate to Kickstarter. We'll be talking about how this film is being made. So that's important too. And then, of course, our season finale on July 27th. So you've got about, I don't even remember how many episodes I just rattled off there. But
I was going to say, did we tape all those?
I think we did. Yeah,
that's why we're really tired. Doggone it, Arlyn. Why did you text us last week about this? We should be sleeping right now. But anyway, no, just
Suckers.
I know,
kidding.
we jumped through hoops for you.
Exactly.
Ooh-wee.
So we're here again with our friends from Nurse Unseen. Please, please, please consider donating to them. Maybe as we start to wrap up, we could go round robin popcorn reading one last time, and we could talk about, how about you guys talk about other projects that you are doing right now? What can we share there with other great stuff you're doing?
I don't know what that means. I'm all in on Nurse Unseen. I don't sleep, I eat, I breathe, I think, I dream about Nurse
Great
Unseen.
answer.
And getting it done.
Love it. Anna?
I'm actually a purchaser for a Filipino food distributor as my office job. Yeah. So.
All right. Carlo?
So I'm actually working at the American Museum of Natural History. I'm a media producer there. I'm also collaborating with Isabel Sandoval on her next feature film, Tropical Gothic. But yes, my number one priority at this stage is Nurse Unseen with Michele Josue. So please check it out. I think Michele is usually great at reminding people the Kickstarter campaign is all or nothing. So if we don't get to 50,000, even if we get to like 49,500, we don't get any of that money. So we have to get past 50,000, please.
Amen.
Guys, do it. And also,
Joe?
that's an Emmy Award winner mentality right there. All or nothing.
Amen. Joe, how about
And
you?
very hardcore, it's like go big or go home. And this is like a shameless thing, and I don't really do this, but I just want to share because Anna and Carla worked so hard on it. And my other team, Happy Jail just won a Telly Award a few days ago. So for television documentary series. So that's exciting news. And I just want to congratulate them as well. And the rest of my team who are off in their own world right now.
And watch that on Netflix. Yes. Joe, what else are you up to?
Well, apart from shooting people in the arm, no, I'm all in. I'm playing hooky at work. Every little chance I get to post something or text someone or forward a poster here and there. I do want to mention, just wearing my producer hat, that the Kickstarter campaign, the 50,000, is just a fraction of our total budget. So we are still, a fraction. Okay, so we're pursuing private equity, we're pursuing grants, and it's not going to stop with Kickstarter. So look out for some maybe some merch coming along in the future here. So, but yeah, that's it. 100%, 150%. Thanks, guys.
And Arlene, I mean, you're not that busy right now.
Oh no, not at all.
No,
Twins are like
you
nothing.
just
guys.
gave birth to twins.
So I had twins, and I didn't realize I was having a triplet actually with this with this project. It's like my other child. I actually gave birth as principal of photography was going on in April, and so yeah, it's been a busy month, and I had let everybody know, like, guys, I'm all in. I have my laptop with me. I'm pushing, so this is all that we've been focusing on is Nurse Unseen, and then of course our newborn twins who are 6 weeks now, and so one boy, one girl, and so Keanu and Aurora, and then of course our other son Vincent, and it's been amazing. And actually we are a recipient of the first ever Filipino Heroes Award, and that is happening tomorrow, Sunday at, oh my gosh, guys, chime in. My mom brain, I'm like so tired.
May
This
30th.
coming Sunday.
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow,
Sunday.
5
May-
p.m.
May
Pacific time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so that'll be all on Zoom, and then maybe we'll send you, Ronnie, the link. I just can't function right. I haven't had coffee yet, guys. I'm struggling.
How we were debating this? How far behind are you? 2 hours behind or 3 hours
3
behind?
hours.
Oh, 3.
3 hours. But
Yeah, see, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's another Emmy Award winning mentality right there. Arlene, I'm just like, what? Shout out to the women who are and the caretakers who are caring for small children and making stuff to enrich the world. Like, How do
Anna's
you?
one too. Anna's got a baby.
Oh my gosh, Anna. I like, how do you guys do? I don't know. I don't even, I'm like not even married yet. And I'm already like, how do you? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Team no sleep. That's how we do it. And really, like, if you have the drive to do something, you will do it. And this project is so personal for all of us on the team. We're so passionate. This might be the first interview that I haven't cried at yet. And so, because when we talk about this project, talking about Filipinos, the sacrifice, the love, and all of that, it's super, super emotional. And we will be discussing the mental health aspect too, because it's not just nurses or frontliners or healthcare workers. It's all of us. I mean, our family members, going anywhere. And so that's a very important part, because within our culture, we don't really discuss it as much. And I am a firm believer that this is just going to create more of a bigger bridge for everybody. Just even, Joe Coy has so much success. He's bringing up all the Filipinos, and this documentary is going to do the same. It will stand the test of time. And I'm really excited that we're doing it, and we're doing it expeditiously. And guys, if no one does it, no one's gonna hear about us. So I feel very empowered that we have to keep pushing these stories and narratives and help build each other up and support one another. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. I can't say enough how important it is that these stories get created, as Roni alluded to. Actually, it was the episode we just aired this past Tuesday, spotlighting Far East, Deep South. Again, this isn't necessarily Filipino American history, Asian American history. This is American history. This is history of Americans or people in America who are contributing to our society. So these are stories that need to be heard. So again,
we helped build America, y'all.
Absolutely.
We're
absolutely.
all right here.
No offense, but Ken Burns is not going to tell our story. Oh, did I say that out loud? I did say that out loud.
He'll talk about baseball and jazz, but that's another.
Yeah, but not about nursing. No.
But please. So again, we know we've said it 1,000,000 times, and it's worth saying for 1,000,001 times. Please go to Kickstarter, donate. It's not just about that coupon that Ted, who's wimping out on that hike, is going to give you, or about that T-shirt that we're going to give you, or the chocolates you're going to get next week. It's about helping to have a piece of history created. And and aren't you guys are shouting out everybody's name on social media who donates, right, Joe? Yeah,
so we try. It's amazing that all these people. My own aunt, who's never given me a gift in years, pledged $100. So it's like, wow, thanks, Auntie. So yeah, we try, and we have the little graphic that one of our an artist, Genevieve Santos, is it? Yes, and fantastic art, and that's what we're giving out to our backers. Yeah. So.
And in terms of shout outs, for the $100 pledge, you can have your name included in the thank you section. And I guess it's relevant this weekend because it's Memorial Day. If you want to pay tribute to a nurse, someone in your family, a friend, someone in your community, you can also include their name in loving tribute if they have passed, or they've since passed. So that's also at the $100 pledge level if you want to have or honor someone's name in the end credits of the documentary. So we're really hoping that as we've all discussed today, this will be something that we can share not only with the community today but definitely in the future, for future generations to see, like, okay, in this once in a lifetime event, we were able to tell this story of Filipino nurses and their sacrifice during this global pandemic.
Couldn't have said
I was just going to donate for the sticker, but that's really good too.
That sticker on your Hydro Flask.
Yeah.
We do have a VIP level that you can party with us in Hollywood. So check out the Kickstarter.
Very cool. Oh, Rex, you're on mute, buddy.
Oh, sorry. I'll have what he's having.
I love that every week lately, I've noticed this every week, Rex, and it's one of my favorite films. So I'm so happy that Rex every week tries to reference When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
That's That's so awesome.
It's a classic line, you know. There's a story behind that line, by the way, but I won't say it.
Mrs. Reiner.
That's right. Carl Reiner's mom.
Exactly. Rob Reiner's.
Rob Reiner's mom.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner's
These
mom.
are my co-hosts, y'all. These are my Rise and Shine co-hosts.
Anyway.
I love these guys.
All right. Well, we want to go ahead and start to put a bow on this episode. We are so grateful that we've had Carlo, Michele, Anna, Joe, Arlyn. Yes, I'm sitting here reading all the names on the things.
You'll be quizzed later, Ed.
Exactly. We and for those of us who are watching, I just got a text from my aunt about 5 minutes ago who was saying, why do you keep doing this? And why does the lighting change on your phone? So just to let you all know that Rex and Roni and I have been texting each other throughout this entire episode to make sure that, hey, wait, we haven't asked Michele a question. We have to make sure that we ask Carlo a question. Wait, Arlyn's talking too much. She needs to go back to sleep. So all this stuff, we want to make sure that we're giving everybody a chance to talk about this great project. So we want to thank everybody for coming out today, whether you are in Australia or Hawaii or Los Angeles. Actually, Carlo, are you? Where are you, by the way? You're here in America, right? Or where are you?
I am. I'm in New York City.
Yeah,
I'm representing the East Coast.
Yes.
We have a ton of time zones here today. And again, I am a big trivia guy. So one day I'm confident they're going to make a Rise and Shine trivia book. And you guys will be the first 6 guest panel on our show. And of course, one of them wimped out and left. He didn't want to, I guess he wanted to go back to sleep. But anyway, so we want to shout out to Ted also for coming out. Rex, I don't know about you, but I'm glad that we said yes to Arlyn, that we did this episode. Rex, what do you think?
Oh man, I mean, again, we can't say no to Arlyn. And it's like, I mean, to tell everyone else the story, I think Arlyn sent us a messenger message, 5 days ago, literally 6 days ago. So we made this happen. And again, I think the subject matter is just so important. And for me personally, so I think, you know, we can't say no to Arlyn. And I love the pictures of the twins, by the way. They're just priceless.
High content right there. And also in the comments, a shout out from Arlyn to Arlyn Sensei.
Oh, Arlyn is here.
Arlyn Sensei is saying, I hope you guys get your goal. Arlyn, you are the coolest nurse, actor, director, producer I know. Wow, high
that's
praise.
Some great praise from another alum from FilAm Creative. Yes.
Yeah, we're a big network, guys. If you didn't know, and if you didn't know, you can follow us on socials at FilAm Creative, IG, Twitter, and Facebook. More shameless plugs. And that's where we're also going to be featuring a shortcut to this Kickstarter page. And if you want to know anything else, just give us a message. One of my very digital, more than vigilant than me team is going to answer you guys back. So
absolutely. Let's give one last chance to Michele, the Emmy award-winning director. Michele, can you let everybody know where can we find out more about Nurse Unseen?
You can follow us on all the social media channels. So Nurse Unseen Doc on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think we even have a TikTok account. Kind of trying to figure that out. So you could follow all late breaking news on the film there, and as well as the Kickstarter page. I don't know the exact URL, but if you search for Nurse Unseen on Kickstarter, you'll find us. And again, thank you so much. This is such an important project. And I just want to say, like, you know, our titas and titos and lulas and ates and kuyas have been out there fighting for not only us, but for like our entire community, not only in this pandemic, but SARS, H1N1, Ebola, AIDS, just on the front line. So this is our love letter to them and letting them know that we support them and we see them. And it's a huge reason why we're all here, why my family's here, why I'm here doing what I do. So just please know that this is so much more than a film. This is just like a part of a little piece of all of us. It's like a tapestry of like our entire community. So I thank each and every single one of you for sharing, posting, spreading the word, giving like whatever you can to make this a reality. And that's why we wanted to do it this way. We wanted this film to be from the community. And I think it's just so much more meaningful.
Fantastic. So again, on behalf of Carlo and Michele and Anna and Arlyn, Arlene, sorry, Joe, and my good friend Ronnie, my good friend Rex. We send our love to Jeremiah and Kami, who could not be here with us today. This has been the 27th episode this season of Live, Rise, and Shine. Thank you for watching today. Guys, please stay for a second. We'll take a few quick pictures. And I know Ronnie's about to shut us down on Facebook. So thanks, guys, for watching.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Facebook.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, Rex here with Rise and Shine. Did you know there's not one, not two, but 3 different ways you could check out our weekly Rise and Shine episodes? New episodes drop every Tuesday on our YouTube channel at Rise and Shine FAC. And you can listen to the Rise and Shine podcast as you commute to work or walking your daily steps by downloading Rise and Shine wherever you get your favorite podcast. And lastly, you can always join our live audience tapings on Facebook Live, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3 different ways you could fill up on your Rise and Shine diet every week. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Rise and Shine FAC and watch new episodes every Tuesday or download us wherever you get your favorite podcast. And thanks again for watching and listening to Rise and Shine.
Rise and Shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at riseandshinefac@gmail.com. That's riseandshinefac@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Rise and shine! This is Kami. I hope you're enjoying the show. Did you know we have a mailing list? And did you know that you can contact us if you want to say hello to Ed, Rex, Ronnie, Veronica, or even me? Just send us an email at riseandshinefac. That's one word spelled out. riseandshinefac@gmail.com. Again, that's riseandshinefac, all spelled out, @gmail.com. Join our mailing list so you can be the first to find out about the latest Rise and Shine news.
Hey, Rex here with Rise and Shine, and I want you to do something for me. Help support Rise and Shine by liking, subscribing, and following the show online. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, all under at Rise and Shine FAC. So follow the show on all social media platforms on all one word at Rise and Shine FAC. Thanks again for all the love and support, and tell all your friends about Rise and Shine.
Rise and Shine. Hey everyone, this is Ed, and I got a question for you. Did you know that Rise and Shine is only one of the many things produced by FilAm Creative? That's right, FilAm Creative has been producing great stuff, like Rise and Shine, for over 10 years. If you want to learn more about the premier Filipino-American organization that has been the #1 advocate for the Asian American entertainment community for over a decade, then visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org. Learn more about the organization that produces your favorite show, Rise and Shine.
Hi, this is Walter Bolholst, I'm proud to be one of the co-founders of FilAm Creative and serve as a member of the board of directors. In case you didn't know about us, I'd like to share with you our mission statement. FilAm Creative Incorporated educates and advocates for the Filipino-American entertainment community and all looking for a collaborative workspace in order to achieve greater representation and career advancement. Although we're based in Southern California, FilAm Creative's reach can be felt worldwide. If you're interested in joining us behind the scenes to produce or promote our many programs and initiatives, visit our website at filamcreative.org. That's filamcreative.org. And contact us to learn how you can join our cause. For students, we also have internships available for you to gain valuable experience. Visit us to learn more at filamcreative.org.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, it's Ed. Thanks for listening today. And did you guys know that Rise and Shine is part of the FilAm Creative umbrella and that we're a registered nonprofit? And as a nonprofit organization, FilAm Creative depends on generous donations from fine folks like you to help us to continue to produce great programming like Rise and Shine. Please consider making a donation to help produce shows like Rise and Shine. Our Venmo is at FilAm Creative. That's at FilAm Creative. And if you don't do Venmo, but you still want to donate a few quid to us, then drop us an email at riseandshinefac@gmail.com. That's riseandshinefac@gmail.com, and we'll help you out. We at Rise and Shine appreciate your generosity. Every dollar helps.
Rise and shine. Hey guys, Roni here. I know my sister Veronica likes to mess with the crew, but we all really work hard to produce a quality program for you. Rise and Shine is produced by FilAm Creative in association with RAS Music Group and Millennius LLC. Rise and Shine is written, created, produced, and hosted by Ed Malillan and Rex Sampaga. It also features Veronica Cañeso, Kami Koyamko, and me, Roni Cañeso. I'm also our show's stage director, which isn't easy when you gotta keep Ed and Rex in check. And finally, our amazing technical director is Jeremiah Castro. Thanks for tuning in every week to FilAm Creative's #1 show, Rise and Shine.